Now we will discuss about the very short answers, that is the 2 marks answers from the second year zoology. As you know, 2 marks answers, particularly there are many more, but we can't expect here. But we will see the important 2 marks answers which are there in our particular things, particular lessons here. In the respiratory system, if you are seeing chloride shift or Hamburger's phenomena, we are saying the chloride shift is also known as Hamburger's phenomena. Chloride shift, it means the exchange of the bicarbonate ions, that is the HCO3 minus ions and chloride ions between the blood and plasma, we are calling as a Hamburger's phenomena or chloride shift here. And then turbinals or concave, we are saying. Turbinals or concave are the bony plate-like structure which are present in the respiratory tract particularly. They always control the temperature. Then if you are seeing the respiratory system only, occupational disorders particularly asbestosis, siderosis, silicosis, then black lung disease, they may ask for the 2 marks also, any one particular thing, as we discussed in the 4 marks already. This is about the respiratory system. If you are moving for the circulatory system, particularly the circulatory system, about the mitral valve and tricuspid valve. Mitral valve and tricuspid valve are the two valves which always regulates the flow of blood particularly. Tricuspid valve always present in between the right auricle and right ventricle. Mitral valve or bicuspid valve is always present between the left auricle and left ventricle. Then why arteries are elastic than the veins? Because arteries are supplying the blood to the longer distances, hence arteries are elastic, we are saying particularly. Then sino-auricular node, auriculoventricular node. Sino-auricular node is always known as pacemaker. It initiates the contraction of the heart particularly, that is auricular systole, we are saying. That's why sino-auricular node is very important, and auriculoventricular node is also initiate the ventricular systole. These points we are covering in the circulatory system, and arteries and veins common definition, and the valve of Thebasis and eustachian valve. Valve of Thebasis, as we discussed particularly here, opening of the coronary sinus into the right atrium is guarded by the valve of Thebasis. Opening of the postcaval vein into the right atrium is guarded by the eustachian valve. These points we are covering in the circulatory system. If you are moving the excretory system particularly, in the excretory system, common points, that is actually renin, and renin we had, that is renin. Renin is an enzyme which is produced actually by the juxtaglomerular cells particularly. This cells, this renin enzyme, renin enzyme is responsible for the production of the angiotensinogen 1, angiotensinogen 2, all these things here. They are used in the absorption of the sodium, production, absorption of the reabsorption of the sodium here. Renin, that is renin. It is used in the digestive system particularly. This renin is helpful in the conversion of the casein to calcium paracasinate here. And particularly in the excretory system also, we are seeing particularly the important points which we had in the excretory system about the kidney, that is cortical nephrons and juxtamedullary nephrons. Cortical nephrons always consisting of a less size of the loop of Henle. Juxtamedullary nephrons always consisting of a large size of the loop of Henle. And these points we are covering in the excretory system. Apart from this excretory system, if you are moving for the particular musculoskeletal system, in the musculoskeletal system, triad system is very important. Triad system, it means the T tubule which is covered by the two cisternae, we are calling a triad system. Triad system also forms the motor unit. Then sarcomere, we are saying. Sarcomere, it means the space between, the gap between, the space between the two Z lines we are calling as a sarcomere. Sarcomere is a structural and functional unit of the muscle particularly, which always helps in the contraction of the muscle. And apart from this thing particularly, aerobic muscles, anaerobic muscles, we are saying. Aerobic muscles always consisting of a more mitochondria. Anaerobic muscles always consisting of a less mitochondria. Aerobic muscles which we had particularly, it is consisting of a myoglobin pigment, and this myoglobin pigment always produces the more amount of oxygen, and always we are getting red muscle fibers in the aerobic muscles. And anaerobic muscles which we are had particularly less mitochondria, in this myoglobin, less myoglobin we are getting particularly, and here we are calling as a white muscle fibers particularly. This is about the muscular system. And about the actin myosin also, sometimes they'll ask for the 2 marks particularly. Dark bands or light bands, about all these things they'll ask for the 2 marks. And apart from the muscular system, if you are seeing for the brain, neural control and coordination. In the neural control and coordination, corpus callosum we had. Corpus callosum is a part which is connecting the two cerebral hemispheres particularly. And sympathetic nervous system, we are calling as a craniosacral outflow, because we are particularly from the cranium region and sacral region, nerves are coming outside. That's why we are calling as a craniosacral outflow particularly. All are non-principal. All are non-principal, it means particularly what is happening, if the impulse is conducted, complete impulse is conducted, half of impulse will not be conducted. That is all are non-principal, we are saying particularly. This is about the neural control and coordination 2 marks. Apart from this thing, if you are moving for the endocrine system, in the endocrine system particularly hormones here, in the hormones, acromegaly we are saying. Acromegaly is the hypersecretion of the growth hormone in the before puberty, we are calling as acromegaly. In the acromegaly, symptoms mainly consisting of gorilla like appearance. Diabetes mellitus we are saying, diabetes insipidus we are saying. Particularly diabetes insipidus is the hyposecretion of the vasopressin. By the hyposecretion of the vasopressin, what will happen? More amount of the urine is passed in the form of the water, particularly that is the symptom of the diabetes insipidus. Diabetes mellitus is a phenomenon in which hyposecretion, that means less secretion of the insulin. By the less secretion of the insulin, what will happen? More amount of the glucose is lost to the urine. That is the diabetes mellitus we are saying. Insulin shock we are saying. Insulin shock, it means if the more amount of the insulin is produced than the required, then the complete glucose is utilized and the energy is lost in the body, then the person fall down. That is the insulin shock we are saying particularly. Addison's disease and Cushing's disease, common points we are seeing, and all the diseases, if you are seeing cretinism, myxoedema, Addison's, Cushing's, from that thing they may ask for the 2 marks, particularly from the endocrine system. And apart from the endocrine system, if you are seeing the immune system, in the immune system, about the particular definition of the immunity, definition of the immune system, immunity is particularly it is the disease resistant capacity. Immune system is consisting of a complete immune cells which are providing the resistance to the body, that is the immune system we are saying. Then microglia, then the phagocytic cells, different mononuclear phagocytic cells mainly consisting of Kupffer cells, microglial cells, all these histocytic cells in the connective tissues, and all these cells we are seeing in the mononuclear phagocytes particularly. And apart from that thing, perforins and granzymes, in the cell mediated immunity, perforins and granzymes are the cells which are always helping in the cell mediated immunity by producing these things. And the complement proteins we are saying, inactivated 9 proteins which are there, they forms the complete membrane like structure on the foreign antigens, and they will kill the foreign antigens by the complete apoptosis method we are calling as a complement proteins. And all these things we are saying in the particularly immunity particularly. And then apart from the immunity, if you are going for the reproductive system, the reproductive system particularly is spermiation and spermiogenesis. Spermiogenesis is a phenomena of conversion of the sperm into spermatozoa particularly, and spermiation is a phenomena of release of the sperm into the Sertoli cells for the nourishment we are calling as a spermiation. And apart from this thing, particularly in the reproductive system, many points we had, but the small points which we had in the reproductive system, that points we have to cover in the reproductive system. About the functions of the placenta we can see, and all other points we can see particularly in the reproductive system. Then apart from the reproductive system, if you are seeing the reproductive health particularly, amniocentosis is a method by which what is happening, by the puncturing of the amnion layer, we are identifying the genetic disorders particularly in the, that is the amniocentosis we are saying in the reproductive health we are seeing particularly. And tubectomy, vasectomy. Vasectomy is a phenomena which always takes place in the males. In the vasectomy, what we are doing, we are cutting the vasa deferens. By that thing, we are not allowing the sperm to reach the penis and to release the sperm. And tubectomy is a condition in which what is happening, we are cutting and tying the fallopian tube, by which thing what is happening, that if the ovum is produced also, ovum is stopped in the oviduct only, it is not allowing to the particular fertilization site here. That things we are seeing in particularly in the reproductive health. After the reproductive health, if you are seeing particularly in the genetics, pleiotropy. Pleiotropy is a phenomena, one gene is expressing the many characters, that phenomena we are calling as a pleiotropy. The pleiotropy method, actually phenylketonuria example we can take. And then apart from the pleiotropy, DNA fingerprinting and human genome project main concept we are taking particularly. And about the different things, Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, and the Klinefelter syndrome, definitions we have to see particularly in the genetics here. Klinefelter syndrome 47XXY, Klinefelter male we are saying, Turner 45XO, Turner female we are saying, Down syndrome 21st chromosome trisomy, always mouth is open. These questions we have to see in the genetics particularly. And whatever the male heterogamy, that means haplodiploidy phenomena, that means haploid number of sets and diploid number of sets, both are seen in the particular honeybees we are saying, that is a haplodiploidy phenomena we are saying. All these things we are seeing the genetics particularly. If you are going for the last chapter, that is applied biology. In the applied biology particularly, inbreeding definition, outbreeding definition, then importance of the poultry, and the avian flu, particularly H5N1 virus, how the avian flu, what are the symptoms of the avian flu. Then guardian angel of cell genome, that is the P53 particularly we have to see. And then about the importance of the particular aquaculture, that is the fish liver oil, cod liver oil, shagreen, isinglass, all these things we are saying, and importance of the honey bee, that means honey importance, and then about the types of cancers and what are the cancer cells, what are the importance of the cancer cells, what are the definition of the cancer cells, all these things we have to see. And MOET, multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology, and then all these points we have to see in the last lesson, that is applied biology. Very short answers, as we are saying, we can discuss the very short answers, but particularly we can't say this will be given that many very short answers are there, but particularly important points which are there in the answers, that important points we have to see. Already we have been covering in the 8 marks and 4 marks, that points only we are repeating in the 8 marks answers, particularly for 2 marks answers here. And 2 marks answers we have to write perfectly, we have to explain them in the complete pattern. We should not write in the one word answer. If you are writing one word answer, the person who is correcting, he may not get the complete clarity on the answer. That's why you have to write the 2 marks answer also perfectly. See all the important points, particularly in the synopsis, all these things here, then you can get the 2 marks answers easily. And as in this year examination, 2 marks answers also, actually out of 15 you have to write 10. Choices are there, you can write the answers easily. Right.